Today we'll be doing some more head-to-heads. To start, we'll be doing Lawrence head-to-head. Go ahead and take it away.
We have Darren Fox and Kyrie Irving. And honestly, I'm not even gonna say anything. Let's start with left to right. Marvin, what do you got to say about Darren Fox? Who you got? Darren Fox or Kyrie Irving?
For a team and like their talent, I feel like I would take Fox just because I feel like he's. I mean, their talent is very similar. They both are super talented players, and I think Fox, especially at this point in his career, with his potential and his the way he is as a teammate, I would take Fox. I feel like he has more to bring to a team as a team instead of just his own skills kind of for himself. I mean, obviously Kyrie can play with a team, but I feel like he's more of a selfish player, to whereas Fox I feel like would help lift the team up more than Kyrie would.
Can
But
I? Sorry,
go ahead.
I just wanted to make you aware of an interesting statistic. I think you're referring to other things, but just so we're all aware, the average their assist differential per game is point 0.1 difference. And Kyrie Irving actually has a higher assist to turnover. He has a better assist to turnover ratio.
All right, but Kyrie isn't really the lead point guard most of the time. I mean, he's always had LeBron or James Harden or Luca. I mean, in
I
Boston,
think I think that makes it that much more impressive considering the amount of assists he's able to get while he's not the guy that is always having the ball in his hands or taking up the ball. He's almost a shooting guard at times, Kyrie Irving,
yeah.
and he just found himself in that role throughout his career many times.
Well, I mean, so I hear what you're saying. You know, Kyrie. I mean, the point or the assist differential is basically nothing. But at the end of the day, so Kyrie is the more talented player. If you're looking at history, if you're looking at present, Kyrie, he's got it all. He's got the handle, he's got the finishing, he's got the shooting. I mean, De'Aaron has the explosiveness to his game, but that Kyrie doesn't have. But at the end of the day, when you're talking talent, I'm taking Kyrie. But obviously, talent isn't all that comes to that factors into the game. De'Aaron's a better defender.
Is
De'Aaron,
he though?
he is. I mean, based on pure athleticism, who do you want to guard the opposing point guard? Do you want Kyrie or do you want De'Aaron? You know.
I mean, I probably picked Darren as well, but I just thought I thought if you think about it, I mean, Kyrie's a little bit bigger than Darren Fox, who's a very small point guard. But I mean, like actually, and I guess I mean Darren's taller, but Darren. I feel like he's just a very skinny guy.
Yeah,
He's
he's
not
about
very
10 pounds skinny.
10 pound skinny. But I mean, even if you look at just the steal, obviously Darren got him. I thought he had more, and Kyrie Irving actually technically averaging more, but it's about the same. So I mean, I don't disagree. I think Darren Fox probably the better defender. I just don't think it's really a noticeable difference. I don't think it's really it's not like a right like one of the previous ones where we had right Trey Young versus it was who did we do it against Halliburton or
Halliburton.
somebody. I mean Trey Young, yeah, I mean he can't play defense. But I mean, you really looking at Kyrie Irving and Aaron Fox. One of them has a little bit more hype around his name in general. One of them has a lot of diss around his name, and I think personally that translates over a little bit to defense as well. Um, but I mean, Darren Fox I think is better as well. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think it's a big difference.
But also considering team success, when Kyrie was the number one guy, he, I mean, De'Aaron hasn't had a lot of team success either. But in his 1 year as with a competent team around him, he led them to the 3 seed in the West and took the defending champs to 6 games. Kyrie, whenever he was the lead guy, well, in that one series that he was the lead guy, or the one playoffs he was the lead guy that Boston went to the conference finals and he was injured. Terry Rozier was the starting point guard, and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were the main scorers. I mean, Kyrie has never had the individual team success unless he was with LeBron, or I mean, they would have won the championship with KD and Harden if they stayed healthy. But that's yet again, I like as a number one guy, I'm taking De'Aaron Fox because first of all, he has the leadership qualities that Kyrie doesn't have.
Yeah.
And obviously the clutch factor. Kyrie is very clutch, but De'Aaron this year was otherworldly in the clutch. You know,
It's true.
It was clutch, but I mean, we know Kyrie's that guy in the clutch moment.
oh no, for sure, yeah. I mean, if I need a clutch shot and it's De'Aaron or Kyrie, I'm not sweating. But like this year, statistically, he was better than clutch. I mean, he's better than
Even the low key in the clutch moment. I mean, defense clutch moment. I'm picking Darren. Offense. I mean, like you said, either one's good, but I think I'm taking Kyrie, bro. This guy. We seen him ball out on any stage, any clutch moment. Consistently average one of the top clutch points.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm here to stop the Kyrie hate, bro. I know
no
Kyrie's
Kyrie hate going on. I'm wearing his jersey. I love Kyrie, but at the end of the day, you gotta acknowledge the shortcomings of Kyrie, and
I just think it's such a. You said team success, and we know Kyrie Irving. He's been the one guy on the Cleveland roster for the first few years. That was a Cleveland roster. Don't remember it exactly, but a Cleveland roster that had nobody on it. LeBron came, things got rehauled. They won a championship. They made how many runs did they make together? Was it just two? Was it just two runs, Kyrie and LeBron? 2015, 2016? Was he still there in 2017?
Oh wait, no, yeah. You're right. It was two. And no, he was there in 2017 as well.
Yeah, you're right. No, yeah. All right, yeah. So three runs together.
Yeah,
Again,
because he was
one
there
of the
once.
greatest teams of all time.
Yeah.
And he's obviously so you have a lot of question marks around his team leadership ability and a lot around his career, but there's a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? It's not like all of it didn't transition. Like you said, the Boston was weird. They made it, but he got hurt. So there's nothing really he can do about that. Brooklyn, you have all the same issues of him not even playing, the team not playing, but they had success when he was playing. There's a lot of question marks, a lot of complications, I would say. But the thing is, I don't think we have a fair. I mean, Darren Fox hasn't done squat. I mean, we're talking about a team. They weren't even really. They were expected to maybe be fighting for the play last season. So yeah, they overachieved. But what they got eliminated in the first round.
By Steph Curry.
I mean, yeah, but the Warriors that were also short-handed and dismantled by the Lakers, who were later swept. I mean, come on, Darren Fox hasn't done anything, and that was a really
game,
yeah. It was his first
playoff game.
Oh, I know it was his first playoff game,
and he balled out. I mean,
played with a broken finger,
And they went to 7 games.
yeah.
I'm not saying he didn't ball out, but I'm saying Kyrie Irving balls out. If we're talking about his lack of success overall, we don't see any Darren Fox success. And what we're seeing too is that team. Let's be fair here. We're talking about Domantas Sabonis, who was he an All-Star starter? I don't know. I don't pay attention to All-Star that much. He was almost an All-Star starter at least. He was one of the best big, at least one of the most hype bigs in the Western Conference. I mean, you had a stack of Keegan Murray, one of the best rookies of that year. You had Harrison Barnes, who's interesting career, but he's a really solid player. Malik Monk had a breakout year. You have Kevin Huerter on that lineup. Like, we're talking about a good team, coach of the year. We're talking about a really good team yet. It's not like he did this all by himself. I'm not give him his flowers. He balled out and he was clutch.
Sabonis didn't do anything though.
Yeah,
he was terrible.
The Warriors pretty much neutralized Sabonis in that series. I don't know.
Yeah, Sabonis has some question marks around him, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, De'Aaron has not done anything in terms of playoff success. But I mean, he's 20. What? 25. Uh, by this time, I guess by this age, Kyrie had a championship, but he was playing with LeBron. You know,
It's true.
De'Aaron. At the end of the day, I mean, was pretty much his first breakout year. This is his first All-Star selection. And in his first year with a competent team around him, he took them to 7 games against the Warriors. And I mean, and Kyrie, I mean, Kyrie's had tremendous success for sure, but like, I mean, let's not forget he went to the Mavs and they got worse. And that's not completely on Kyrie, but I mean, the team's success has not always been there for Kyrie. And right now, De'Aaron Fox, I mean, he's only had 1 year of his prime, or I don't know if he's even in it yet, but that 1 year he had a really good team, third in the West, and they nearly knocked off the reigning champs.
I mean, you're right, but I mean, for one, Dallas, hey, they lost like all those games against good teams and by like 2 points when Kyrie came there. It was just, I mean, there's weird things going on in Dallas. There's a lot of question marks around GMs and coaching for me about what they're actually trying to do there. And certainly Kyrie doesn't help a situation where you basically just have him and Luca who are scorers. Their Luca particularly is not a strong defender. But I mean, Derek Fox, I just think we're looking at a lot of recency biases. I mean, we should be because we're trying to analyze them in the moment. But
I mean, for a
we're
guy
looking
like
at Kyrie Irving had a season with the Mavs. Yes, they didn't make the play, and yes, it's really bad. But he barely played there, honestly. Did go downhill when he went there, but it was already on that track anyway. And Darren Fox had a season where yes, they were the 3rd seed, first round exit, and this was the only season that we've seen anything like that at all from a team that has him on it.
Yeah, I mean, I see that perspective, but also like with the recency bias thing, the only thing we have with De'Aaron in terms of this conversation is recent. I mean, we can't use his previous years where he was surrounded by horrible teams
And was injured a lot.
and was injured a lot. We got to take into context the 1 year he's had. So last year, the year before last year, he had the worst shooting or spacing around him of any player in the league. This year, he had the best, and he played like a superstar. You know, I like we can't. I think taking the other years of De'Aaron Fox's career would be out of context because this is the 1 year he had a team around him and he had tremendous success. So I'm strictly using this past year as the point of reference for De'Aaron. And this year with De'Aaron, I think is better than Kyrie's ever done on his own. You know?
Yeah, I think Kyrie throughout his career too has been set up with better teams than Darren Fox has, even up to this point in his career. So obviously that helps Kyrie too, because you can get better numbers if you have a better team. But at the same time, to what Lauren was kind of saying earlier too, is it's almost more impressive too when you get better numbers when you have really good other players too. So I mean, at the end of the day, for me at least, I honestly don't even know if I can still pick a player. Like it's just so close. There's a bunch of things that could go into consideration, but honestly, like Deacon was saying with them in the clutch, for me, either one of these, I'd honestly be fine with either player. And I mean, I think the only thing that would theoretically put me over the top right now with Fox is just Kyrie's drama kind of in the past like 2 years. I mean, it hasn't been super bad like Harden or anything, but
Kyrie's
Fox
had drama all his career.
that too. But Fox, that's what I was saying at the beginning too. Fox, I feel like is a better team leader and chemistry builder than Kyrie Irving is. And I think if I had to pick one, that would be why I would pick Kyrie. But at the end of the day, I'm really okay with either one. They both have very similar skill set and things that they bring to a team. Do you have any thoughts on it?
We're talking about this to this day, and De'Aaron Fox is taking the lead over Kyrie to this day, and he's just rising up skill wise and everything else, while Kyrie is slowly still really good and crazy, just slowly going downhill. So to this day, I'm gonna take De'Aaron Fox, but just by a little bit. And going to the clutch part, I'm probably gonna take De'Aaron Fox too because past year with Kyrie, I don't know. De'Aaron Fox is kind of next level of clutch this past year.
I have a question for you all to kind of clarify this topic. Before I want to just bring some interesting facts to the statistics to the table, regarding the two, just kind of their play style and what kind of the strengths and weaknesses. So Kyrie Irving, even last year, which I think we would all agree was not what we would generally consider his best year, but he averaged one of his almost career highs, one of his better career seasons in points per game, in 27. De'Aaron Fox averaged 25. Kyrie, like I already said this, he has slightly more steals per game. He has a better assist to turnover ratio. De'Aaron Fox 0.1 assists more. And here is where I was shocked. It is where particularly I thought was interesting are their shooting percentages as far as free throw, 3-pointer, and just field goal. Because Kyrie's is actually incredibly high. He just came off, I think, his best free throw shooting season, particularly in Dallas, at 94.7% free throws. De'Aaron Fox has a surprisingly low free throw at 78. That's almost with the notorious LeBron free throw percentage. And then 3-pointer, Kyrie has an unbelievable, his career, he almost has the exact same way as his career. A 39.1 career 3-point percentage and 39.2 last season, so slightly higher, basically the exact same. De'Aaron Fox also surprisingly low 3-pointer at 32.4, and we know the type of threes that both are taking. They're going to be rather on the tough side. And then you also have De'Aaron Fox shooting overall 51% field goals, which is very efficient for a point guard. And you have Kyrie doing the exact same thing as the overall field goal percentage. So that being said, it gets kind of irrelevant. And obviously Kyrie averages more rebounds, just become a bigger guard. So I think all of you, if not most of you, would take De'Aaron Fox as a number one player over Kyrie. But as a number two player, who are you taking? So even for example, if you just flipped Fox and put him on some of Kyrie's previous teams, or even the current situation with Luka, do we think De'Aaron Fox? Do you guys think De'Aaron Fox is the better player for that?
Yeah, in that situation, I would take Kyrie because Kyrie has complementary skills like the 3-point shooting. He could catch and shoot or create his own, and I mean that's kind of what you want from your secondary star. So yeah, in that situation, I would take Kyrie, but but De'Aaron's been molded to be the number one guy. And well, Kyrie kind of not grew up, but ascended his career being the number two guy. So he's been able to mold himself into that type of player. I mean, I'm sure if De'Aaron got the chance, I mean, in the playoffs, he shot the three generally well. I mean, let me check this out. 33%, but
Well, this is
not that
kind
good.
of what this I talked about this for Trae Young. It's kind of this is kind of like a recency bias. So De'Aaron Fox has a lot of positive vibes around his name right now. His team overperformed. He was the best player on the team. He won Clutch Player of the Year deservingly. He did it all really well. I'm just saying, like, let's do keep in mind, Kyrie has a lot of negative things, right? His team didn't perform, but I'm just saying, like, skill level wise, kind of why I brought these stats up. Kyrie Irving is scoring wise a much better scorer, and we know how gifted Kyrie. Everyone around the league knows how gifted Kyrie Irving is at scoring at all time level, and just even I'm surprised how efficient. We know Kyrie Irving is taking tough shots, very tough shots, and I was very surprised how efficient he is, and then also to his free throw stroke, how natural of a shot he has, which surprisingly Fox does not have that natural of a shot, even on his free throws, just overall on his percentages. So I just thought that was interesting.
So are you taking Kyrie?
As a number one or number two?
Number one.
Number one, that's what the topic is.
I mean, we're just saying who's better. But
So
I mean,
who would you take as an overall piece to help a team?
it's tough. I mean, I guess just based off what we've seen recently, and Kyrie Irving just leadership and expectations of last year, I think I take Fox. But number two, I do have to go with Kyrie Irving. I think Kyrie Irving as a number two guy might be one of the best wingmen in the league.
No, I think
Kyrie
you're. I
Irving,
think you're. I think you're. That's not wrong. I mean, I don't know what other, especially for number two guys. I mean, he does outperform himself, especially as a number two, which could write to the question too. It could also be like, okay, like you're asking for an overall player, but it also depends on what those pieces that you have are. Because, like we're saying, right? I think we all pretty much agree that Fox is the better number one guy, but Kyrie's the better number two guy. So it really depends on what players you have to which one you would take.
yeah. I just wonder what with their coach and their team, what the Kings last year would have looked like with Kyrie on the Kings. I legitimately wonder because I don't know what effect it'll have on team chemistry, particularly like motivation to play together, and then just on the court. I think on the court it would be really fun to watch, but I just don't know what it would look like and how successful they would be.
True, but I think we can all right agree. I mean, Fox would be the better number one guy, and Kyrie's a better number two guy.
Yeah.
Right. So at least we have some agreements. Obviously both players are very talented, and it was very difficult to pick one, but we did end up coming with a unanimous decision on where we would take both guys.